Good evening. Welcome. This is the Man United agenda, and this is the preview show for Leicester versus Manchester United. Evening. Oh, it's just me and you on Monday. What's happening?
It's a dynamic duo. I mean, Batman and Robin. You could be Crockett, I'll be Tubbs.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll have to take my socks off so I can walk around my house being so in the
I'm buttoning your shirt, man. It's hot out here. Come on. Yeah. Let's go. Oh, actually, it might be Two's company.
Freezer Hero, what's happening, Talk?
Yeah, sorry, I got a bit held up there.
Oh, that's all right. How we doing, big man?
Yeah, good. How are you two doing? All right?
Yeah, man.
The Prem's back. I'm fantastic.
Yeah, I can't wait for Sunday for the watch along and all the other games.
Saturday.
It's just
Saturday.
Say sorry.
Saturday.
Yeah. Sorry. Whichever day, there's football to be had, and I'm having it. Yeah. So I can't wait. And in terms of, I don't know what you've already been talking about now since you've just started, but if you want to fill me in, where did you start?
Yeah, we just opened the show, and we said there's two of us, and I said Mr. B is Crockett, and I'll be Tubbs. But then you've come in now, so we have to think of a TV detective team or a Three Amigos. We'll be the Three Amigos. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
My little buttercup has the cutest smile. Let's not do that. Let's move on. With the show. Come on now. Because I'm hoping, you know what, I'm excited about the Premiership's back, that's for sure, but also excited about Brendan Rodgers might be making an appearance, talking about beautiful human beings. Ain't that right? Anyway, enough of that. Inside joke. We might find out later anyway.
Okay.
That's right.
Let's get the ball rolling, gentlemen. Let's get the ball rolling. Leicester City, Saturday. Obviously, we know Varane and Maguire aren't available. I'm not even going to talk about the name that's been mentioned, so I'm just going to assume and hope that we have. It's not even hope. We're playing with Bailly and Lindelof. It doesn't fill me with hope, and it doesn't fill me with great excitement. Talk. How do you think those two are going to fare? More Bailly than Lindelof, because Lindelof's actually been playing.
Well, I think, for me, listen, Lindelof, from when he's been coming on for us just lately, has been pretty good, I would say. And I do like Bailly. I think I like the only thing with Bailly, as we know, he can be a little bit too tenacious, and he gets his timing wrong. So, but you know what? I think I like Bailly the way he's so kind of for that reason is tenacity. And you know what? Sometimes you need to sort of put yourself about a little bit and just let people know, you know what, it's not going to be an easy ride for you. You're not going to, I'm not going to make it easy for you. So, and obviously with them playing a 4-4-2 with Iheanacho and Vardy, then because that's probably what they're going to line up as. That can they deal with them too? If we get caught short, can they deal with that? Because you know what Jamie Vardy's like. If he's on your shoulder, and he's ready to to skin you, he will do. So we've got to be really careful on that front, I believe, because them two. I mean, not just Vardy, but Iheanacho as well. He's a good player. He's a great, he's a good striker. Iheanacho. I don't think he gets enough credit. He's a really good player, and he is dangerous. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, I don't know if you two agree that they'll play 4-4-2. I'll put that to you. What do you think?
OMONDI?
Okay, well, I haven't seen much of Leicester. Obviously, I'm a Man United supporter. But last season, towards the end, at one point when they had 3 fit centre backs, they were playing 3 at the back across the middle with Fortana and Evans and the Turk. I can't pronounce his name. Tunsha.
Sonshu.
Yeah, Sonshu. Yeah, sorry, it's a tough one for me. So they were playing 3 at the back. They've also, this is what I like about Brendan Rodgers. He can comfortably switch formations. And here's Amy. We have the A team now. And we got Amy for the A team. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yay!
I'm face, naturally, Come on, guys. Anyway, how you doing, Maisie? You right?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good. We just say so. Yeah, with Brendan Rodgers, for example, what I rate about him last season, he had a few problems. I think Justin Joe, one of the fullbacks, got injured. They were having to mix it up, and he just went straight to 3 at the back, and they were comfortable. They beat us. They were done really well. They got almost qualified for Europe, and so they're quite flexible, I think, with their formations. They've also got Lookman coming in the side. They've also got Ryan Bergstrom from Southampton as left back come in to give them that balance at fullback. They've got a guy called Paxton Daka that I'm looking forward to seeing in the Prem. He looks dangerous. So, regarding formations, I think they do like to have. Last season, you saw Vardy up top as a nuisance, as always. Does he ever age? I don't know. Does he get slowed down? I don't know. It's just a nightmare to play against. So, looking at the 2 defenders we've got, which are likely to start, I'm a bit concerned because I don't think you need that familiarity together and playing together regular. And this is the first game they'll be playing together against Vardy and against Iheanacho and maybe Paxton as well. And I like Leicester. They raid. They got a great midfield. I mean, we haven't seen Samure yet as much. I think he's a good player. And I think also coming from right back, Ricardo is one of my favourite players. He plays right back, right wing back. He's just always raiding, always driving forward. He set up. I saw some of their goals earlier this season, and he's got a lot of involvement. So I'm a bit concerned about our centre back pairing, but I'm confident. I'm always confident with Man United, and I think if we play our cards right, Brucey style, we'd be all right.
Maisie?
This game, I was actually looking forward to it because then when you look at this game, I feel like this is going to be our easiest game compared to Liverpool, who's going to be next week. You've got Man City coming up. You've got Atalanta coming up as well. You've got Spurs coming up. We've got such a hard set of games coming up at this moment in time. So this Leicester game, it's the 3 points what we really do need because we're not always going to guarantee points at Liverpool because they're such a big rival of ours and they're also a very good team as well. You've got obviously Man City who's at the start of November, and I know we're better than Man City in terms of when we play because Pep always overthinks anyway. He's like, oh dear. But Spurs is another hard team to come against because when Spurs have got that right team against us, it can always be a bit of a sticky situation. So this is the game mostly where we need to pick up these 3 points. Leicester this season, they haven't been the best at this moment in time, and you do think to wonder why that is because I actually rated Leicester's transfer window very highly. They brought in Daka, as you said, he is very good. He's fire. We haven't seen much of him in the Premier League. He's played more in the Europa League at the moment, and both the Europa League games they haven't won at all. And you do question as to why they haven't won them Europa League games because one was Warsaw, who they played, did a win against them. I can't remember who the first game was, but it was a 2-2, and indeed he got sent off. So it is going to be I don't think he'll start knowing that for that, like, because he's played more of that Europa League games. He might come on as a substitute, maybe as more of an impactful substitute. Yeah. But for now, at this moment in time, I feel like it's Jamie Vardy who is carrying that Leicester squad. I feel like if Jamie Vardy wasn't there, the whole squad would be in absolute crumbles, because James Maddison hasn't been that same player since his injury last year. Neither has Harvey Barnes. He hasn't been that same player either. And you think, is it because they came back a little bit too early, or is it because perhaps maybe there's something behind backstage with Brendan Rodgers? Because it's just so strange how they've had such an amazing transfer window and they've just seemed to really crumble. And I know Fofana was a big loss as well, because he got injured during the pre-season, but they brought in Vestergaard, who are rated very highly at Southampton. And when you've got a centre-back like Vestergaard, who is like, you'd look at him and think he is like a destroyer. The height of him, the size of him, like if you looked at like Sancho next to him, because Sancho's only a little compared to Vestergaard, or if you put Dan James next to him, if we still had him at Man United, you think, oh my God, do you get what I mean?
Yeah. I still feel that Leicester, they're going to improve. There's no two ways about that. It got,
they will.
The reason as well, he's brought in those players, that we mentioned, and but he will. Listen, he's a good manager, Brendan. Yeah. So. And a wonderful human being.
Just you know what? Just to add to that as well, I was saying about how our sort of fragile defence, we bring in two new players in who are not familiar this season playing together against Vardy and whoever he's up against. But also the same applies for them, as Maisie was saying about the guy from Southampton, the Dutch guy, the big 7 foot. Yeah, Vestergaard was naming, and they haven't. And Johnny Evans ain't there. Fortana's gone. So it's going to be him and the Turk against our strike force. And it's like, so the same applies. But I think it's even more in our favour that we could exploit their defence, their weakness in defence, more so than they can exploit ours. I just think it's going to be a lot of organisation, and hopefully we can get the job done.
That's the only thing that what concerns me is exactly the point that Solo made, was them getting in behind us. Because obviously when we play, we like to push up, we like to play that high line. And if they, that them two, especially Vardy, they're going to be on that line and they're going to be waiting. And as soon as they receive possession of the ball, you know where it's going to be going. He's going to run across that line because he's still got a bit of pace about him, and relying on Nacho as well to be the one to provide him an option who can also finish it. It could be a tricky game for us. But I mean, in terms of the lineups predicted, what I'm looking at is for them: Schmeichel, Bertrand, Vestergaard, Soyuncu, Castagna, Harvey Barnes, Tielemans, Chowdhury, Lookman, Vardy, Iheanacho. For us, believe it or not, and this is a good sort. I always look at this, and it's very rarely wrong. But this is telling me De Gea, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Eric Bayer, Wan-Bissaka, Scott McTominay,
Stop.
Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire's injured.
And Ronaldo. Well,
Harry Maguire.
Yeah, I know. But listen, wherever these people get their information and blah, 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 and this has only been put out today, then there's maybe things that we don't know. So you know what? We just have to wait and see. We'll have to wait.
Harry Maguire is not playing. Can you change your team, please?
You know what? I reckon Torquay Mew's got the magic sponge out and ran down to the training ground. Fit,
I think Talks, who what I was mentioning to Matt, is my fairy godmother bringing Harry Maguire back.
Well, you know what? Stranger things have happened. Let me tell you that. But I mean, yeah, he's more probably going to be Bailly and Lindelof, isn't he? Let's have it right. If Bailly is actually available, so. But I do believe that there is maybe a small possibility that if Harry Maguire is telling the staff that he's good to go for whatever reason, and the doctors clear him, then you just never know. We'll have to wait and see on that front. So
all right,
surprise.
I don't know what you've been drinking today, but okay, you've got Harry Maguire in the team. Obviously, a certain player's not playing. He's going to be delayed coming back from Brazil. Who do we feel should be playing in his position?
Pogba.
Obviously,
McTominay. Scotty McTominay and Pogba.
I'm going to ask you a question. In your heart of hearts, do you feel that that's what
Ollie will go with that? He will. He'll go with Pogba and McTominay, and he'll put Sancho on the left, Greenwood on the right, Bruno in the middle, and Ronaldo up front. That's what he's going to do.
Maisie?
I think in terms of that midfield, I think it is going to be a Scott and Pogba partnership. With the Scott and Pogba partnership, it was a bit like he just got the job done kind of thing. On the Villarreal game, he just got it done, and there was no kind of standout issues where we did think, it's not a McFred, is it? Like, it's not McFred all over again, but with Pogba instead. So I think he'll probably just go with a Scott and Pogba, although I would prefer Matic to play. But the unfortunate thing is that Matic just does not have them legs anymore, and it's just very upsetting to know, to be honest. So I think it's going to be that. I feel like Rashford is going to come back. I think he's going to be playing in the left. I think he might try Sancho on the right, and then he'll put Ronaldo up front with Bruno in the middle.
I think Marcus is going to be, if he's available. I don't think he's going to push him straight out into that Leicester game. I think he'll put him on a bench.
I was thinking, especially behind the closed doors. I think he played against Burnley behind closed doors, I believe. I think it was like Burnley, and he scored 2 goals. So I think what he'll probably do, I think he might start and then take him off 60th, 70th minute, so he just doesn't get that another injury, and then maybe they might put like Greenwood on for the second half, maybe.
Me personally, I would play Matic, Bruno, and Pogba in a 3. I would put Rashford. Is Rashford back? I don't know. But I would start with Rashford on the left, put Sancho on the right, drop Greenwood, and put Ronaldo up front, knowing that we have players on the bench to come on. And if someone's not performing half-time or just after half-time, we can churn it around. But the reason I play Matic in there's a reason for that as well. I think Matic is a big presence. I think whether they're 4-4-2s, not say 4-4-2, they play one guy drops off. I think we need someone there, Matic, to be in and around them, not McTominay. I think Matic is more intelligent. Maisie, I disagree. I think Matic has got legs. I'm fighting his corner this season. I'm fighting for all the old. There's a conspiracy against all these old guys, isn't it, Mr. B? You know, we don't like it. We don't like it. I mean, we want.
Well, you're not like Matic. I said that. I told Mr. B he was only 21.
But we're out here, all us grey-haired, bald people on the Man United agenda. We endorse the old boy, even though he's 30, 31, whatever he is. I like him a lot. I think if he just sits in there, as more to do with formation, as Talk MU was saying the other day about this 4-1 whatever system, someone to sit in there as an anchor man and just be around, just be intelligent enough to be around it. I like it when he's there, feel more secure. And I think it's McTominay should be watching Matic in his final couple of seasons, you know, to see this is how I play the role, and hopefully he can get into that position and not have to run like a cart horse all the time. You don't need to do it like that. So I want Matic in that position, anchor man, and Bruno and Pogba just in front of him.
I mean, I tend to agree with you, Mondi, but it's whether Ollie is he brave enough to trust Matic against, you know, those, like I've just said, those two, because they're going to be, if Matic was on there, you know, they're gonna cause him problems. They're gonna make him, you know.
Based on, this is what I say. I'm gonna fight his corner. Based on what? Why do you think he's causing problems?
Well, because they'll get either side of him. They'll get either side of him as soon as they get possession of the ball, whether it be out the back or in the midfield. They're at either side of him, and he needs, you know, you're gonna have everybody else. He's either gonna have to drop back, which is going to invite them into the space, or if they push up, they're gonna and try to play the offside trap. Then it could be, you know, it might not work because they are very intelligent players, those two, and they could easily, between them, one of them will stay on side and get through. And like I said, then the other one provides the option. So
there's a saying in say boxing, speed, timing beats speed. So I think in this sense, I'm saying positioning beats work rate. In my opinion, if you're positioned correctly, that's why I want Matic in there to have us keep that shape. McTominay, he's got good legs, granted, he can do all that. But Matic would stay in there, stay in that zone, control the ball. And when the ball comes into him, he controlled it better. We're being more at ease, bringing the ball out, and they wouldn't rush him so much after 20 minutes. They wouldn't be pressing him so much because they know I ain't getting anywhere here. So I really want to see Matic have that, especially the opportunity now with Fred out, have the opportunity to come in there and seal that role and show everybody, look, be calm, be patient. We've had a bad run, like watching on the eye. You do all the games on watch along. I think we're not performing, and we keep mixing it up and saying, well, McTominay, and we're dismissing Matic all the time. Oh, he can't run, haven't got the legs. Stick him in there, make him play Rodri. Say, like, stars in your eyes, say to him for the game, I'm Matthew Kelly. Tonight, Matic, you're going to be Rodri. You know? And then he go out the stadium, come out, puff or smoke, and then come out as play as Rodri. That's where it's been going. You know, when you're kids, you're going to say, I'm Brian Robson, you know, that kind of thing. So I really want to, I just want to endorse him. I'm going to argue for the next few weeks with anyone about Matic and say, I want to try and endorse this guy and see the value of him, you know?
But that's where we've been going wrong, though, in that position, because we've not had the player with the discipline to do that. When Fred has tried to do it, he inevitably ends up drifting, and then that's the problem. So if Ollie was to give Matic that instruction and to say to him to be exactly what he's supposed to be, which is, you know, the protector, so to speak, great. I would be like, I'd back that all day long, because then, you know, you have more faith that he's not going to get caught short and he's not going to have to be doing any running, because, like, we know if he's running, it's like when you watch him run, it looks like he's running in sand. You know, like go on a bit more, give it a bit more. But his leg muscles just can't generate that pace, which is unfortunate. So, but I just think it will be McTominay, Pogba.
Positioning experience over running ability for me.
Yeah. Okay, so at the moment, we've all agreed with De Gea, yes? Because I'm so confused here.
Actually, I think it's Tom Eaton. I'm going with Tom Eaton.
No. What's part of the work, Maisie?
I'm just got my little potty.
Yeah. See what you're doing.
So we've got Shaw, Bailly, Lindelof, and Wan-Bissaka. Are we saying he's going to go 4-3-3? I'm going to say he's going to stick with the 4-2-3-1. I'll be honest.
Yeah, he ain't going to go 4-3-3, unfortunately.
He's not going 4-3-3. So if he
I
goes
do want him to switch, but
he's not going to do it.
Mary won't, because he's a bit too reliant on what he does.
Well,
and when you do look at what I feel like, if you did have that right CDM, that kind of formation would work. But the point is that we don't have that proper defensive midfielder for Pogba to go freely.
Sorry.
Yeah, we do have Matic, but he can't play every game neither. We still need to have that other CDM there.
But that's the thing as well, is now with all this conversation that's been happening, not just online, but in the media as well, on all the spotlight on the coaching, it'd be very foolish for Ollie to now start flapping and panicking and go, oh, I better change my formation. And then it totally fails on him. He'd look even more, you know, people would just have more ammunition to go at him. So I believe he'll stick to exactly what he knows.
Yeah, but hold on a minute. We've all read the news this week about what's going on. The senior players have said something needs to be changed.
Of course.
So maybe it's the opportunity to do something, you know. Ollie, we all agreed Ollie hasn't been. He's a bit rigid. Did you call him stubborn the other day? And also fibber, Mr. B,
and a liar, yeah.
And a liar, yeah. So, so maybe now we're going to see some change. Hopefully, we're going to see. I don't know how true that's going to be, but maybe with all this talk and whispers about some players being unsettled and unhappy with the coaching, indirectly saying maybe the management, maybe we're not being bold, maybe we need to tweak the system a little bit. Hopefully, we might see something come the weekend.
I don't see because for me, if he was being bothered by this in any way, shape, or form, and this was actually happening with the players, which so-called it is, then he will do it in a way that he'll be like, right, okay, the first place to make changes is obviously in training. So then we talk about, okay, so if you're not happy, right, let's try something else. But he's going to have to do that in training first in order to get them coached into going into all out. Because if you're going to go from one thing to another, you're going to go all out. There's no point in him doing it for one game. I know he should be, to be fair. He should be able to, which he has done in the past on a few occasions, be able to switch it up. Just, out of the blue, just go to a 4-3-3. He doesn't seem to do that often enough. Maybe that's where
the formation is fluid enough to do it in game, and he can do it. It's not that hard. It's not like going from a 4-3-3 to a 4-2-3-1 to a 5 at the back, which Lauren suggested earlier in the earlier show. And I was, because when we do that, that's a major change. I think there's not much difference. Don't you think, Mr. B? There's not much difference between a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. You can easily adapt that during the game.
It'd just be Bruno's starting position because Pogba will already be in there. So, I mean, look, why I don't think they'll change the formation is I just don't think they've had the time. They've been away for the 2 weeks, the players. They would have only been back today. Let's be honest. We've been moaning about our last show was virtually cussing our coaching staff. So there's no way that they are going to be able to coach those players in 6 hours to change to a 4-3-3.
Stars in their eyes, man. Stars in their eyes.
Listen, I wish it was. I really, really wish it was stars in their eyes. Look, he's already calling for our stars as well. We've got our back four. We've got Matic in a 4-2-3-1 with Pogba central.
Well,
yeah, Pogba central for me.
So McTominay's benched, are we saying, guys?
I don't think he's going to play McTominay. Does Pogba and McTominay ever work?
They played it once against Villarreal, and it just felt like there wasn't anything major where I felt like it was like major issues to the point where we was that poor or they was the reason why we conceded, because I don't believe it was like the midfield reason why we did concede against Villarreal. I just felt like it wasn't like a midfield where I'd be like, wow, that was a brilliant midfield, but it wasn't a midfield where I could highly criticise it neither.
Maisie, what I want to say about that, I think why I prefer Matic and Pogba is because Pogba is like a bit of a free player. He's a sort of luxury player. You're going to say, let him roam, let him do his thing. He's not a sort of player where you're going to be saying, hold the position, stick, woof. That's why I want Matic in there instead of McTominay, because Matic is more. He doesn't have. You say he hasn't got the legs, so he's not going to be bombing forward. He's not going to be doing anything. But if he's going to play conservative within himself and be more a position player there. So whether someone can run past him or not, I don't care. I just want him in position. I'm finding we've how many counter attacks have we been on the receiving end of when we've given the ball away with people like McTominay in the side or Fred in the far side. So for me, I think Pogba would play better as he does on international level with someone who's got experience. Who's the young Monaco guy that we keep lauding? You try saying that. Don't speak your mouth full, guys.
Sorry, I was just chewing my.
I know it's a tongue twister. I don't even bother. I say the guy from Monaco, the young guy, driving like that. But like when he plays with him, for example, he knows. He says he's very good because he knows this guy is disciplined in his role, and I think the same applies to Matic. He's got so much experience. He's disciplined. So when we've got McTominay and Pogba, I don't think McTominay is experienced enough as yet to sort of be wise enough to hold that position and say, Pogba, all right, I know what sort of player you are. Do your thing, and I'll cover things out. I'll sort things out here. So I like Matic in there just for now.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely do prefer a Pogba and Matic partnership, in my opinion. I've called for it for quite a while, and you do know, especially if Fred was there, it would always be that Mick-Fred partnership, and we do know that is kind of like the Premier League thing, Mick-Fred, because you don't really see it as much in that Champions League at the moment. I definitely do prefer Pogba and Matic. I don't particularly like Pogba in the left, just because I feel like in certain games it works, certain games it just feels like there is players who's faster than Pogba who would be more suited on the wings, because he's not a wing player, he's a central midfielder. I know he prefers playing on the left, but if he was playing in that 4-3-2-1, 4-2-3-1 kind of thing, put Pogba on the left and then put the CDM on the right if that's what Pogba prefers. If he prefers playing on the left, don't play him as a left wing, put him as a left central midfielder.
Left, right, in and out, shake all about. It's do. This is why I love talking about formations and the shape of the team, because there's so many options. I mean, when you look at it, we've got a lot of Phil Nevilles in our side. Like Pogba can play in different positions. Bruno, I think, can play in a couple of positions as well. Sancho can play all across the line. Greenwood can play in a couple of positions. There's a lot of good footballers these days who can play a variety of roles. And it's not like back in the day. I always ask the question, like, if we were back in the day when it was strictly 4-4-2, where would someone like Greenwood play? Where would Rashford be playing, for example? Would Rashford be a right midfielder? You know, would Greenwood be a striker? I don't know. This is really thing. We're getting to the stage now where there's different types of player for these different sort of roles we play today. The main striker has to have certain attributes. You know, the inside forwards are playing on opposite side or to the stronger foot, so they can cut inside. There's different things. So long gone are the days where you get Kanchelskis running down the wing, you know, down the right wing, touch, dribbling past players and that kind of thing. Football's developed and evolved so much. So yeah, it's interesting that.
Front three. Who are we choosing? Talk.
Sancho, Ronaldo, Greenwood.
Okay, Maisie.
As much as I would love Greenwood to play, I just think it's going to be a Rashford, Sancho, and Ronaldo.
I'm with Maisie.
That'd be ideal. That would be
That's
ideal.
what I want.
But like I say, is he going to put Rashford in that position of, because there's a difference to starting a game than coming off the bench. You know what I mean? You've got to remember the psychology of where you are at the start of a game. The expected 3 points. You're coming back from injury. You know, it's like, right, okay, I've been doing loads of training, but you know, it's there. But when you're coming off the bench, if you've had a lot more of the ball, blah blah, etc., it's a little bit easier, a little less kind of. Because listen, these players still get nervous. You know what I mean? They still get nervous. These players. Doesn't matter how many times they play, you still get nervous when you go out on that pitch. So for me, I think it would be a much more sensible option for Ollie to bring Marcus off the bench, let him, you know, observe for the first half, maybe even in the 60th minute or whatever, depending on what the scoreline is at that point. But like I say, it would be the ideal setup, that wouldn't it? You know, Jadon Sancho doing his right hand side, Rashford doing what he does on the left with the absolute, you know, machine through the middle. You know, we could cause them all sorts of problems. We could time in knots and create lots and lots of chances. But again, just for that specific reason, I think he will probably come off the bench.
The reason I want Rashford in is because everyone talks about Ronaldo doesn't press anymore. I think that gives you a bit of balance. You've got Ronaldo and Sancho. Ronaldo will press. Rashford will press. I feel he's got the legs. He's really threatening. Even his presence alone will sort of defenders will sit off and drop back, and that will hopefully help us in the game. Knowing that Rashford's on the pitch and he can burst past you, he's looking to burst past you, and also they can organise the press with Bruno. He likes to dictate the press. Bruno can do the press as well. I like that, and I think Greenwood deserves to rest and sit back and say, right, we bought Sancho for 70 mil. Rashford, I think, will start because we saw how he drained that guy, played him every single minute, every single second he could of last season. So I think he's going to be saying, you're in. He's a first. I think Ollie thinks Rashford is a first teamer. Not that I believe that, but that's what I think Ollie feels, you know, just evidenced by what he did last season by playing him whenever he could. So I believe Rashford will start tomorrow, on Saturday, and start pressing and start driving at teams as well, and give us something we've missed where we can have that extreme pace, not just pace, but extreme pace, where sides are now saying, boy, we better start off here, sit back a bit so we don't get caught with that ball in behind from Lindelof. I know he'd be trying to play those ping those long field passes, but yeah, we'll see. There's so many variables, isn't there, to how we're going to set up, and it's good for the manager.
Just this message here from Jay. McTominay and Fred are box to box. We would be better off, I'm going to assume, with Lindelof as a CDM, as he is already defensive. He can pass the ball long and short, and we just need to teach him in obviously his opinion. What I will say to that is Lindelof is a defender. He's always plays as a defender. He plays for his national team as a defender. I cannot believe for 1 minute Ollie has the nous or the sense to be able to convert Lindelof to a CDM. Let's not disrespect the central midfielders that we've got. Although saying that, he would probably do a better job than a few of them, in all fairness. But I can't see that ever being an option. I know people speak about it. We've got our own guy OS on the show who muted it once. But I can't believe that's going to happen. On Monday, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, just to add, hi Jay, how you doing, man? I think that's an option sometimes, yeah, but not on Saturday because we don't have. Who's going to play centre back? Phil Jones.
Don't blaspheme.
Phil Jones and Bayer.
My God! Oh gosh! Lauren Hardy.
Oh my God!
I think a lot of people were quite excited for Bayer to play because last time Bayer played against Jamie Vardy, he played pretty well against him. So I think a lot of people are hoping it's going to be him and Lindelof, if, for example, because Maguire and Varane is out.
Maguire not by Maguire being out, not by talks talk satellite dish. Yeah. I don't know.
What do you know?
So we've got our 11. We've got an 11. Obviously now I want to hear some score predictions. It'll be interesting to see what team Ollie does put out and if it resembles anything like what we've got here. I mean, the bad thing is we haven't got Solo, who always seems to get the team bang on. So maybe I should have spoken to Solo before I came on and discussed the team.
Maybe we should ask Solo to put it in the chat. Solo put it in the chat.
Yeah, come on. So we can go with his team. But look, score predictions before we wrap it up. Maisey.
I'm gonna stick to the 4-2 what I said on Match Stream earlier.
Oh wow.
4-2.
4-2. Ronaldo's get a hat trick and Jamie Vardy's gonna get an own goal.
What have you been drinking, Maisey? He'll have some.
I've been drinking all sorts. I've been drinking me Pepsi Max. I've been drinking some milk. I've been drinking
too much sugar.
Orange juice and all that. I've been drinking the lot.
I think you know what it is, folks. I know what it is. She is on a watermelon sugar high. That's what it is. She's on a watermelon sugar high. That's where we are. My score prediction is my 1-0 United. 1-0. We'll get we'll get a good opportunity. We'll get a good opportunity. We'll create a really good opportunity. And Ronaldo will absolutely bury it, and then we'll settle down and we'll just like a Monday. I agree on this point. Is we will then see out the game. We'll have to see out the game and manage. We've got to manage the ball, and we've got to make sure we do not give them lots of opportunities to build up something, because if they push us back, you know what we're like. Our attacking shape collapses quicker than a house of cards, and that is another problem for me in terms of what we're trying to do as a team. So that will be something that Brendan Rodgers, will no doubt, will be aware of, and he'll know that as soon as they get possession of the ball and they start to build possession and keep the ball and move up the pitch, we'll just collapse back like a load of scaffolding. Whoosh, bang. You'll find Ronaldo tear-assing back into the box, our own box, looking for the ball to try and push it forward. And he'll know that, and he'll try and take advantage of that. So if we don't let ourselves do that by keeping good possession of the ball and have them chasing it, and then, again, it's depending on who is in this midfield at the back, in the two, the holding player, because it's him who's going to inevitably be the recycler. To make sure we don't lose our attacking shape, and also that we can recycle the ball out into non-dangerous positions to do something more. But we'll have to wait and see on that.
OMONDI?
I think it's crucial now that Ollie, he's got a bit of a dilemma with the defence and all that kind of thing. It's time for him to step up. He's had a lot of criticism this year where we've played. I want to see a 1-0. I'm with Talk MU. You know me, I always say 1-0. I think Leicester is a really hard test, maybe the hardest test we've had this season up until now, And as Maisey said earlier, we've got plenty more to come this coming few weeks, so it's going to be really difficult. So it's time to step up. Like I said, with the things that were said about senior players not being happy, hopefully the experience will come through now. We've got Rashford coming back in as Gemma. Yeah, he will slide just back in, like people slide into your DMs, Gem, And I'll chat to you later. No, don't. Yeah, so I think with that, I think we've got to manage the game, be compact, and have the experienced players on there. And a big game. This is a huge game, huge game. We need to, if we win this, that will give us a lot of momentum and confidence, as Maisy was saying, with the games we've got coming on, Maisy. You know, so 1-0 Man United, and see out the game and manage it and walk away as winners. Yeah, away from home. What do you think, Mr. B?
I'm going to agree with Solo. I think it's going to be a draw.
No.
Maybe not a 1-1. I'm going to start being realistic with my score predictions, because I've been talking some crap. Oh, we're going to be winning this game. We're going to be winning this game. And I'll be honest, it's the Man United badge that's making my brain go all faffy. So from now till the end of the season, I'm going to give real what I really believe. And I don't think we're going to win the game. 2-2. A score draw is what I'm expecting. I don't want it. We don't need it. But I can see it being a draw. I can see it being a draw.
So if say you're right, say we don't win. What do you think the reactions would be like with the media, the fans? What do you think, guys?
It's going to be
the weight's going to get heavier. The weight's going to get heavier on Ole pushing downwards from the top downwards, because inevitably, you know, the expectancy and everything of the fans, the dreams of the fans, you know, for us to do well, that comes back to the club. They know that. They know that, the owners and the board, and there's only one place it can go. They can't. You know, there's no point in looking up when what's happening is below you. So it can only go down. So that pressure is going to keep cranking up on Ole, and he's going to. I just hope he doesn't find himself in a panic mode. And if he does find himself in panic mode, I hope he makes the right decision. You know, in terms of what he's going to do. Because I said my way of Ole getting out of this when the heat gets too much for him is the 4-3-3. That's his out. That's his way out. You know, because that's what he knows. So whether we'll see it at the start, I don't think we will. But if he's forced into it, I think he will switch to it in the end.
I can't see him switching.
We owe Leicester. They beat us in the semi-final. They've done us the last few games of the season, didn't they? When we played a youth team. So we owe them. And if we win this, I think this is really crucial. We're at a real fine balance at the moment. If we win, the momentum's going into the next game will be fine. If we lose or draw, it's just going to be the same old, like the negative results we've had at West Ham, League Cup, and Aston Villa. And we don't want that dis-ease. You want me to drop that one again? We don't want to have that dis-ease which causes disruption and disease within our club. So let's win. Let's all be positive. Let's get that win. No draw talk. No loss talk. Let's get that win, because we've got we've got some fire things coming up.
I want to ask you a question. I'll put a question to you now. What, in the players' minds, right? That group of players that are going to start that game, in their mind and their own opinion and their own confident way, are they winning that game?
Who are you asking?
All of you.
Yeah, so I'll be very quick. Yeah, I think the players, whatever's going on behind the scenes that's been leaked out to the Athletic and leaked out to national newspapers and everything else, the players know it's time to step up. We saw Sancho on international duty really trying to, he realizes people talking. He hears it. The first time in his life, he's not the wonder boy anymore. The wonder kid thing, forget that. You need to deliver. So I think that all the players have to be united. And I thought Ronaldo and Pogba, people don't realize that, or they start to see that now, what he does with France, will be uniting this team as we are and getting us together and saying we have to win this game. This game is massive, bigger than we think. Amazing.
What I mean is like, them players, they're looking at each other, talking to each other, and they're like, this is our game, we're winning this game. But then if because of a failure elsewhere, they don't, this is where this could get really, really problematic for Ole. Because you've got to look, and it's quite clear that I knew you was going to say that, because that's why I originally asked you. You've got to remember there that we are understanding that as fans. The board understand that as well, that the players themselves know that they are winning that game. But if they don't, where do everybody's eyes start to look? So if it's such a like you just said, Monday, it's a big game for going into the next game, but it's a big game for many other reasons as well.
Yeah.
Look, every game's a big game. Just like every Man United agenda show's a big show.
And every time a Man United player goes on that pitch, they've got to have that mindset in their head that they're going to come out with the 3 points at the end of it. We need to look at what's in front of us and think we can beat what is in front of us.
Yeah, that's the mentality, Maisie. I'm with you on that, man.
Exactly.
We've got to become like that. Totally.
Look, at the end of the day, we need the 3 points. I don't care how we get the 3 points. Really not interested in how we get the 3 points, but we need the 3. Ideally, it would be with that perfect performance, that perfect. Please play. Listen, don't wind me up. It'll be with the perfect performance. Yes, they really. Everybody's talking about Phil Jones, and it's really beginning to wind me up. But it's thrown me off. Phil Jones, he's got in my head. I can't.
Do you know that song? I can't get you out of my head. It's Phil Jones can't get out of Mr. B's head.
Like Kylie Jones. But let me just ask. Let me ask Chris. Chris, you tell us what you think the score is going to be, mate, before we finish.
Just if anyone who doesn't know, Chris Leicester Till I Die, that's his channel, and we will be linking up after the game to discuss what goes down, because this is massive. I know Chris is confident, and I can see, he's making a lot of noise lately. Finally, he's come out of his shell.
I tell you. Oh, these guys.
He got you, Mr. B.
Yeah, he did. He's making me blush.
Score predictions.
Come on, we're waiting for that score prediction.
Oh, come on, stop stalling unofficially.
Come on, Chris.
From your lips, come on, you type this. What do you think, Leicester Till I Die?
Comes from your hands here.
You're holding up the show, come
on. Because I'm waiting.
I know. I just there looking at the comments, but now I've got that song in me.
Okay, 2-1 Leicester officially.
Right, thank you. Okay, thank you. And unofficially, Andy Herbert's gone 2-2. Okay, so we're waiting for his unofficial one now. 6-0 United unofficially, more than likely.
9-0.
You know what?
9-0. We're gonna do a 9-0 like they did with Southampton.
You know what? I can't wait now for the watch along, because it's gonna be passionate. Talk MU's gonna bring that passion, and I can't wait for the post-match show as well, because I'd like to get Chris on.
Yes.
And screenshot that 2-1. Come on, United, let's go. Yeah. And everyone in the comments, come on, United, let's get galloping, let's get moving. We're slowing up. Starts on Saturday.
Look at this. Everybody's got Leicester. Everybody's. Oh no, James. I think James has gone 3-1 United, which is.
Thank you, James. You're bottom of
big up Top Talk TV.
He's got 5-3 Leicester, then a 1-0. See, this is why
that's an old score line. That's from a few years ago, and it's 5-3. They beat us.
This is Gems, yeah. We win, and then we lose to Atlanta. That is so typical, Gems. You couldn't just have us winning 2 games, could you? You couldn't just have us winning 2 games.
Well,
typical. Typical.
And Rebel Irishman says 2-1 United as well. Go on, Rebel.
Yes.
I just want to win. I just want to win. But look, we're over our time again, lads. That's what we do. Sorry, lads and lady. Sorry, Maisie. Sorry, Maisie.
It's all right. I liked being known as one of the lads then. I was feeling a little bit special. I could be like, just like you. Like, you get what I mean? Like, I'll walk a bit like a lad if you want me to and everything.
You'll have to shave it. You'll have to shave it.
I'll get a Mr. B's beard on me as well.
Yes.
Yeah, can you imagine that?
Stars in their eyes. Spot the difference. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh God, that's funny.
This is the Olympic win.
Oh God.
Well, this is why I love doing this. I love doing this because
I am special. I'm extremely special. Thank you.
Well, before we sign out, is Brendan Rodgers coming to the show? We're going to hear anything from Brendan Rodgers about it? We've heard from Chris. I don't know.
Mondi's a wonderful human being. But we have to start on the
You two, come on, spit it out. End the show on your thing. Go on.
Sign us out, Brendan. Sign us out.
Yeah, come on, Brendan.
So you've been watching the Man United agenda. And it's going to be a great win, a great victory. For the Monday, Mr. B's getting sacked. He's a human being. Steve Brook, it comes forward and gets sacked for my 1000th game from Newcastle. But I'll sign out now from my old club, Man United. Man United agenda. Happy days.
Yes.
Look,
Brilliant.
With Mr. Brendan Rodgers telling you all goodbye. It's goodbye from all of us on the Man United agenda. If you liked, please share it. If you haven't subscribed, it's your first time watching, subscribe. And don't forget, hit that like button. Tomorrow, we will have our quiz show with the quiz master. I'm not sure if Big Boss Man is back. If not, then I think I'll be jumping in the hot seat with OMONDI.
With Matt. Matt is going to be in the hot seat. Matt from Football United TV. So everyone tune in.
I hope he's revising.
I hope he is. I hope he's got that encyclopedia out and it's not too cloudy in front of it, Matt.
We understand.
Yes. Yeah. And and also you'll find me tomorrow with my superstar sidekick beside me, Talk MU. I don't know if we're gonna have Brit on tomorrow or Shah on tomorrow, but I think we'll have a Rashford loving tomorrow. That's what that's what it's gonna be tomorrow. A Rashford loving.
What time?
9:30 tomorrow. Is that right, Talk? Or is it 10 o'clock?
I think it might be 10 o'clock, yeah.
And Mr. B will be in his pajamas, and so we'll talk. He'll be in their little Manchester United pajamas with a little hat on and a little matching like socks and everything.
I'm tuning in. I'm definitely tuning in.
I'll be in the Action Man onesie.
You know what? This show's getting out of order. Look.
Yeah, let's quit while we're ahead.
Yes, we're gonna sign out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. We are the Man United Agenda.
Ciao.